You're listening to Thunder Quack Podcast Network. This is the Thunder Quack Podcast, the official podcast of Thunder Quack Podcast Network, where anything can happen. So strap yourselves in and hold on to your butts. It's Thunder Quack time!
Hello and welcome back to the Thunder Quack Podcast, the official podcast of thunderquack.com, which you can get early every Tuesday over at patreon.com/thunderquack, just like our Patreon producers, Brian Murowski and JJ Samuel do, or you can wait and get it late every Friday on podcast services across the galaxy. I am one of your hosts, Michael Cohen.
And I'm your other host, Amanda Conkin.
It's summer. Summer has begun.
Oh, it's so nice. I love it being hot out. It's the best.
I hate it. It's the worst.
I was so hot today that I had to change my outfit so that I was in like athletic gear so that the sweating was okay, and it was glorious. And I am at a place that has air conditioning right now, and I relished in the being outside and just being like hot. It was great. So yes, we are of different minds about the heat.
Yes, very much so. I would always prefer that it's cold, because if it's cold, you can grab a blanket, you can put on another layer, you can whatever, right? Like it's easy to manage the cold. But if it's hot, there's only so naked you can get before you're inappropriate. Depending on the setting, of course, right? There are degrees in different settings. Working from home, I suppose I can be as naked as I like, but
there you go. Work from home, baby.
Yeah. But even so, I mean, we have air conditioning. We don't, the unit is not air conditioned, but we have one of those like mini portable ones. So I managed to keep the house nice and cool all day. Nice. I didn't step. I helped Crystal take the girls out to the car this morning, and they left. Other than that, I did not step foot outside this house today.
Nice.
Because it was like 30 something degrees in Coquitlam, and I was just like, no, don't need to know, don't need to feel it, don't need to. I just like sealed up the house, turned on the air conditioner, turned it all the way down to 18 degrees, and like the problem is that like the AC is on the other side of the house, and I'm in the office, so it's like I gotta cool that whole area, which is the biggest room in the house, and then like be blowing it down towards me in the office in order to stay cool in here. But I managed. It's decent. Nice. It's decent in here, but it's still 25 degrees outside, and I don't want it. Don't like it. No, thank you.
I just like my clothes better in the summer. Like I just can wear my sandals every day, and it's just easy. It's just easier to exist.
It's that's so counterintuitive for what I know of your fashion, because as we've discussed many times on the podcast, I don't think that you have like actual articles of clothing so much as you are just draped in blankets and scarves.
Yeah, which is because it's winter and I'm cold. And so I just always wear layers. And like, here's the thing. I have a little bean bag that I heat up and put in my bed at bedtime so that my feet stay warm. And I still do it in the summer. I just cannot be cold. I cannot be cold. Ugh. So what I like about the summer is I still do wear like layers and stuff, but they're like flowy dresses, or I wear like beach wraps and stuff like that. So it's just like a different variation of a scarf, I guess, but like loose and cool. So
yeah,
I
just
love it.
Squares of fabric.
That's all I exist in is squares of fabric. Yeah. And like I'm loving the onesie trend. Like I just could live every day in a onesie. And I do actually, now that I work from home. So I'm very excited that I could just like live in onesies. And because some of them aren't quite as hot as I would need them to be. Like I have one long sleeve onesie, but like I have like the short sleeve sort of like I don't know. I
See, now
just
when you say onesie, for me that translates to, because mostly because I have kids, that translates to like footy pajamas, which is not what you're talking
that's
about.
not what I'm
Just
talking about.
you're
I just
talking
mean
about
a jumper, like a romper.
like a romper type thing.
But I don't really wear shorts rompers. I wear the longer rompers.
Yeah,
Um, but I mean, essentially, yeah. Like I have one that I call a onesie, but it's basically just like cotton overalls,
yeah.
essentially. Like it's a smash and test romper, but it basically has just like the single straps that I clearly have to wear something under it. So it's just like variations on
And then
overalls.
you just put a poncho or scarves over top of it.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially, not necessarily upon, but I have a lot of beach wraps, a lot of like shawl things that I wear constantly. So, anyways, I just like I like being warm, and I know that there's going to be times where I will regret that, but it just is delightful, and it's a different aesthetic. Like you have to lean into the aesthetic of it. And right now, I am just happy that summer is here. I'm also psyching myself up to hopefully go live in a really hot temperate climate for many
Mhm.
months. So I'm trying to like use this as a litmus test to be like, am I going to survive for 4 months in a warm climate near the equator? And I think I will. I think I'm just like psyching myself up to get excited for it. And then when I come back for Christmas, I'll just be like lean into that like sort of hygge and just sit with my like hot cocoa and by a fire. So oh man, fun. I know that sorry, we will podcast about real things today, but a bird got stuck in the chimney here. That's a fun thing about being in a place that has a home, like a house that has like multiple entrances. A
Mhm.
bird came down and got stuck in the
That's
chimney.
the fun thing.
It's just well, I mean, there's lots of things, but it's like new adventures in house. Like
But
there's
I just like the way you phrase it. That's the fun thing. The birds getting stuck
no,
in
that's not I mean, you know that I'm
that's the
not
fun thing.
vindictive like that. I just there's lots of like my dad has fences for the deers because there's for the deer because there's lots of deer that come in and eat his flowers. So like the fences all have these
Mhm.
like barbed wire extensions, and then the raccoons come and eat the grapes, and it's just a very interesting. Anyways, so we had to rescue a bird from inside the
Does
chimney
your dad share
today.
these feelings of like, oh, this wonderful
Oh,
wildlife
no,
that's
they
coming
hate it.
to?
Oh,
Yeah,
they hate it.
exactly.
They hate it so
Yeah.
much. Like, he had to leave the fence open because he's trying to fix up the fifth wheel right now, but he even, like, tied it to the fifth wheel because he doesn't want bunnies coming in, or I don't know what it was, some sort of small rodent that he was I don't think it's bunnies. I don't think we have bunnies out here. Anyways, but there was something again that he was like, "You can't even just leave it open a crack because the wildlife will get in and eat his flowers." So, yes, he does not have the same joy of the young wild things. And I mean, I think I only enjoy them because I didn't have to personally deal with the bird. Like my dad took the bird out
Mhm.
of the
Yeah.
chimney.
See, now
So
I like it when you get there on your own and I don't have to be the one to say it, because absolutely 100% that is the case, is that you like it because you're not responsible for any of it. You don't have to do anything about it. Uh, and me sitting from the perspective of a dad is like, yeah, of course you don't care,
yeah,
because
that's
you're
fair.
not the
That's
one
fair.
who's going to have to deal with that bird, dead or alive, and get it out of the house somehow.
Yes.
I I speaking of dadly duties and
Ooh.
such. Yesterday was
Oh yeah,
Father's
happy
Day.
Happy Father's Day. Yeah, I meant to say Happy Father's Day.
There is no such thing as Happy Father's Day.
Uh-oh.
It's a
Okay.
fallacy.
Okay.
Just like Mother's Day, it's a
Oh, you
fallacy.
complained about this previously about how
Yeah,
the obligations for Father's Day outstrip the joy. I
it's
feel to
yeah.
to
Like
paraphrase.
what would I have liked to do yesterday? I don't know. A few different things. Did I get to do those things? No, no. We went out to my parents for brunch and hung out there, which is not ideal.
I love brunch,
I
but
mean,
I get it.
brunch is fantastic, but
Familial obligation, I feel.
the having to just like, there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do, right? Like
Fair.
I get bored very easily at my parents' house. Um, they don't have a particularly nice television. They don't. There's no video games to play unless I take them with me. And and the girls just want to play and like explore and like do fun stuff. And like I don't want to do any of that. That all seems exhausting. And on a normal trip to my parents' trip, I mean, like it's 45 minutes away. Not even. It's like half an hour away. It's not like a trip. We just go there. But on a normal excursion to my parents' house, it's like whatever. We do all that stuff. But again, we're talking about Father's Day. We're talking about the like Kara had said to me on Saturday, it's Father's Day tomorrow. You get to do whatever you want to do. And I was like, no, I don't. That is not true. So yeah, like it's that, and then from there we went from there after we finished brunch and went to Crystal's parents, which is even more boring at their place. Because at least at my parents' house there are multiple rooms, and like you can kind of, if you want to, you could go into the not basement, it's like a split level, right? So there's like the bottom floor, which has like a little den rec room thing, and then the laundry room or whatever, and then they have a mud room. But and then the main floor is the living room, the dining room, and the kitchen, and then the top floor is the bedrooms and the bathroom, right? And so like there are, and then they have a huge backyard, a huge front yard, because it's an older house in Richmond, so there's lots of room. So like there are places to go and hide. Like at one point I just sat outside, everybody else was kind of doing whatever, and I sat outside in the shade, with like in the like little patio furniture or whatever, like the little table and chairs, and I just sat there and played Oregon Trail on my phone for probably a good 15 minutes, and that was actually probably the highlight of my day yesterday.
Oh no.
I because it was nice, because it was a beautiful day yesterday. It's oppressively hot today, but yesterday it was like 24, 25 at the hottest, which
Fair.
is nice. Like I'm fine with that. I prefer, like, if my ideal temperature is that we get like an hour of it being like 22, 23 degrees, and then like drop back down to 16 at the lowest.
Okay.
If I could just like control the climate, that's exactly perfect. Because like, especially when I think of like we were talking in the pre-post show, patreon.com/thunderquack, $10 to get the uncut. We were talking about Disneyland, and my ideal weather at Disneyland is like mid 20s during the day, and then drop down to like 16 at night, like 16, 17 at night, so that you can still be in shorts if you want to, but you could also you could switch over to your jeans if you felt like it, or I like the dad cargo shorts, which I'm currently wearing. They come a little bit down, like they come down to the knee. They're not as
Yeah, like a
fashionable, but they're
little
functional.
longer. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And throw on like a hoodie or something like that. And my legs are cold, but the top half of my body is not. And for some reason, that's nice. I don't know. I can't explain it, but Cassie doesn't agree with me. If you can hear her.
Oh yeah, I could hear her.
She should be asleep. It's almost 10 o'clock, but
Oh no, she doesn't want to
there
sleep. You're
you
having
go.
too much fun podcasting.
Yeah. But yeah, like at Crystal's parents, it's like they live in a much smaller place. They don't really have, they have like a little back patio sort of thing, but like we don't really go out there.
Fair.
And it's sort of just like, it's kind of just the living room, and
You're just there.
Crystal's
Just there.
stepdad kind of controls the TV.
Ah.
So whatever he's decided that he's watching today is what we're gonna watch. And uh I don't know if I've told this story before, but around the time that the Avengers came out, I know I've said this before on the podcast. For about 3 years, he only referred to the Avengers as the Fantastics.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that.
drives me nuts. I and at one point he decided that he wanted to watch Iron Man because he enjoyed Avengers, or as he called it, the Fantastics, and he wanted to know where all of the Fantastics came from. So he went to watch Iron Man, and he watched Iron Man up until the point that Tony Stark escapes from the cave. Right, like
Oh,
he
right.
builds
Yeah.
the suit
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
with Yinsen, and then Yinsen dies, and then he pulls the ripcord thing, and the rockets go, and he launches, and then he crashes into the sand dune, and he literally stopped the movie there. Like, he literally stopped the movie there. I wasn't there at the time. It makes it sound like I was there, but like, this is what Crystal's mom has told me, is that like he stopped the movie there and was like, well, now I know how he becomes Iron Man. And that's all the information that he wanted from the television program, or from
Oh
this movie.
dear.
Like, that's all he wanted. And he turned it off and probably went back to watching football or soccer or golf or another rerun of the Andy Griffith Show, which those are the only things they're ever on in their house. Which like I was unaware that you could still find the Andy Griffith Show
Yeah.
on
Yeah, that's
television,
impressive.
but somehow he finds it live on television. And he he records the news and then lets it play.
Oh.
Like, he doesn't like skip through the commercials or anything. He just lets it play.
Oh.
He just puts it on and just lets it play. Even though
Okay.
it's recorded from yesterday. He just lets it play.
You know,
I
to each their own. To each
So
their own.
thankfully, I mean, like, yesterday golf was on, so for the most part we were watching golf, which is fine. It's not the worst thing. Like, if a sport is going to be on television, golf is
Is one of the least
probably actually
egregious.
my preferred. Either that or like X Games. Like I don't know if they still call it X Games, but you know, like skateboarding, biking, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
No, I didn't know that, but I now do.
You didn't know that that's called X Games? Like, you
Correct.
didn't know what the X Games were?
Correct. I mean, I haven't thought about it too hard. I have never had
That's
cause to talk to anybody about the X Games. It may have showed up in passing.
there's a whole Goofy movie literally about it.
Yeah, but I didn't watch that Goofy. I didn't know that there's a Goofy movie about X Games.
You've
I
never
remember.
watched the sequel to a Goofy movie? You've never watched
No,
an
I've
extremely
only
Goofy
ever
movie?
watched the classic Goofy movie.
Oh my
with
god! The next time Kara sleeps over, I'm gonna make her
okay.
make
Request
you
that movie.
watch
Yeah,
an
that's
extremely
fair.
Goofy movie.
That's fair.
It's great. It's a great film.
Okay.
And it is like, I'm pretty sure it's like literally branded X Games, like, because that's
Nice.
like that's a brand. And I'm pretty sure that it is. I'm pretty sure that like Max wants to compete in the X Games, which, like, we really didn't get any indication in the first Goofy movie that he was into extreme sports, but it was the early 2000s, and
Well,
everybody
that's it.
everything was X. It was I can't I am astounded that you have no
Concept of the X Games. Yeah.
yeah, because of like
Like I'm sure that I if somebody was to really quiz me, no, I don't know if I would have guessed that it was skateboarding.
well, it's
X
not just
Games.
skateboarding, it's also uh, uh like rollerblading, like
Okay,
inline skating, aggressive inline skating specifically,
gotcha.
BMXing, let's see what else is part of the
Wheel-based sports.
I mean, it's a lot of wheel-based sports. It luge, you know. I mean, there are multiple
Ooh,
skateboard events, right? Because there's the half pipe.
the
There's the
luge?
yeah,
I would never have guessed
like
that luge
street
was.
luge, right? Like,
Oh, okay.
not
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
like
Street
snow
luge.
luge, but like street
I
luge,
get
where
it. Like extreme. Okay, I get it.
yeah.
Okay. It's there. It's good now. I get it. This is actually reminding me of I do actually genuinely have we could talk about I don't know if you've watched it, Luca, the new Pixar
No,
movie.
I haven't watched it, so we can't talk
Oh
about it. Don't
man.
tell me anything.
But there's an epic bike down a hill. I mean,
Okay,
I feel
don't tell
like
me
that's
anything
in
about
the
it. I don't
I
want to
feel
know.
like that's I feel no, I feel like that's in the
I don't
trailer.
care. I haven't watched the trailers.
Okay. Well,
I don't want
anyways,
to know.
it's just relevant. Go watch it. It's cute.
Okay.
Then we can talk
I'm
about it.
going to. I wanted. Hey, you know what I wanted to do
You want us
yesterday?
to do
I
for
wanted
Disney?
to watch Luca. Like
Oh, yeah, you
that's
should have done that.
that's what I wanted to do. I all weekend, but we were
Oh,
doing a million other things. Kara
did
had
you
her
want to
dance
go golf?
recital on Saturday, but
And she was super cute.
she was adorable. Saturday was good. That was a good day.
That's great. And you got her golfing? You got her golf clubs?
I got her golf clubs. Well, I haven't picked them up yet. I'll go pick them up on Thursday. And so yeah,
But you're
she's
gonna go take her
excited.
golfing?
I'm gonna get her lessons first, and then we're
Cool.
gonna go. I mean, I. She will be 5 in August. I'm not gonna take her out on the golf course just yet. She's still a little small. It'll
I
take
mean,
us
that is fair.
3 years to finish one hole, but
We were following two families with young children, which was good because my dad was embarrassed because I took a really long time.
yeah.
I got to have two balls so that if I didn't like the first hit, I could do another one. I only had to do that 3 times though, so
Was it just the two of you?
yeah, it was just me and my
Yeah.
dad. My sister came down for the whole weekend, but then my dad wasn't sure if he actually was gonna go. Anyways, it just wound up being a thing that then it just wound up being me and my sister, or me and my dad. But it was originally me and my sister that were gonna take my dad. But my sister sacrificed for us by coming and staying the whole weekend. It was a big thing where she's like she complained the whole time.
It's
It was
very
so fun.
dramatic.
She just can't sleep anywhere but her own bed, and she's never doing it again. And even for like Christmas, I remember actually she didn't actually stay overnight for Christmas. She came at like 7 o'clock in the morning. So, anyways, it was a big thing that she came and she slept overnight. So on Saturday night we watched Luca, and then she stayed over, and then the next day she was just grumpy all day. So that may have played into why she was not
That's
golfing with
funny.
us. But
I
but I'm very grateful. It was a very lovely weekend, and I think my dad
yeah.
was very grateful that all of us were home because we're usually only all home like on Christmas Day, basically. So it was
Yeah.
a big that was my Father's Day gift, was that and going golfing.
I would
Anyways,
have
there was
liked
young
very
children.
much to go golfing yesterday, but
Yeah. But
that would have been nice. But
it made me feel better though because again it was some younger children ahead of us, and my dad kept feeling really bad because the dad was making the little boy carry his own golf clubs, and I was like, it's not going to last very long, and it didn't. It lasted about 2 holes, but it was like my dad just
Kara's little golf bag that we got, it's tiny, and it's only 3 clubs, right? It's just a driver, I think a 9, and the putter.
cute. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and I mean, like I will make her carry it because she's got
Yeah,
her responsibility,
yeah,
her
there you
deal.
go.
But I mean, like we'll mostly probably just go over because there's Eagle Quest right by us. It's like right over just across the highway.
Is that I didn't know that. Is that a golf?
Yeah, it's just like a
Oh,
little golf
maybe I
course.
did know. Maybe I did know. Maybe I did
You I mean, like when you drive by on the highway, you can see the big net things, right? Because they have the driving
Yeah,
range to
yeah,
stop
yeah,
the
yeah.
golf balls, from hitting cars on the highway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll like we'll probably just go over there and just do like the putting course because they have like a little putting course. So we'll go over there and we'll just practice our putting and then practice driving at the driving range. But it'll probably be a little while. It'll like next year maybe we'll go out, but not on a real course, just on like a little pitch and putt or a little par 3 or something. But yes, I would like to golf more often, and Father's Day seems like the logical time to do it, but
It does. It does.
the way
But
that
I
it
think
the way that it works when you've got kids and like
and parents.
multiple fathers that have to be
Yeah.
catered to on a day is that yeah, like like you're just it's just like Christmas Day. It's or not Christmas Day, but like the week of Christmas really.
It's
Like
not for
you
you, it's for
yeah,
everybody
like
else. Yeah.
you gotta like like schedule everything out and you're going this place, that place, the other place. Kind of sucks, but it is what it is. It's like it's one of those things. It's like it's nice to be close to family, except for when we have to see them. you know?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Like, it's like I wouldn't like Crystal and I talk about it, and it's like, well, I wouldn't want to be further away, but because then we would never see them. But like I also don't want to. I don't want to see them so much. it's a it's a weird thing, you know. It's like you miss your parents when they're not around, and then the second that you're in the same room as them, you're like, oh my god, when will this end? So that's
Yeah, no,
kind of
I
that
mean
was kind
that's
of the
but
whole thing.
that's how a lot of things work, and you just try not to take it for
Yeah,
granted and you deal with what you need to,
I
and then
I really like that with Kara. We're at this stage where it's like, here, take take her, take her, and we are going. And Cassie's getting there as well. She's almost. I mean, like we do. We leave them, uh, uh, and go do other stuff all the time. But I like that. I like it when we can do that because then it's like it's the best of both worlds. We don't have to listen to them complain about not getting to see the girls, and uh, and we also get some time away,
there you go.
not having to sit and watch whatever they're watching on TV or or I mean, I guess it's the same. It doesn't that translates for everyone involved. That translates for everyone involved. The grandparents and the kids. It's all the same thing.
That's
My
fair.
brother wants me to come up to the Okanagan and stay with them at their house, and
Whoa.
I'm just like you don't know what you're offering, right?
Interesting.
Like
Yeah.
and like and I like I don't want to do it. It doesn't
Well,
sound like it would be as much fun as I would need
that's
it to be.
he's in Kelowna, right?
Yeah, they're in like West Bank. Yeah,
Okay. See,
yeah.
because if you come down while I'm here, the girls can come swim. We can come hang out at the pool.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. We're
Okay,
just going to go to Harrison for a few days.
that's fair.
I
That's
also like the other part of it is it's like with kids, it is a 5-hour drive,
yeah.
right? With Crystal and me, like, hey, like, let's see if we can do it in under 4, right?
What? I have never traveled that in under 4 hours. Oh, you start an hour out further than me. I just realized.
Sure,
On
but
a
even when we lived in Burnaby,
man,
I
I can't make it in less than 5 hours.
yeah,
I don't
yeah, you
know.
get on the highway. I don't
I'm
know.
terrible. I'm a slow driver.
It's from Burnaby. It's what it's like about an hour and a half to Hope, and then it's about an hour and a
What?
half through the Hope Princeton, and then it's another 45 minutes to Penticton.
It's an hour from Merritt, at least. Maybe I just drive really
Why are you
slow.
taking the Coquihalla? The Coquihalla is longer.
Oh, because I usually go to Kelowna
Yeah.
instead of Penticton. Well, it's not longer. It's like the same.
You
And
can you
because
can
on
go
the
faster on the
Coquihalla,
Coquihalla,
yeah, you
but
can go faster and you don't have to be stuck behind people.
sure.
I don't like being stuck behind people. Also, I don't like people stuck behind me. I think more so. That's where my anxiety kicks in, and I think everybody's judging me
Mm.
because I'm being slow.
Yeah,
Anyway,
they they
I haven't
probably
done
are.
Hill Princeton in a long time.
They
This is
probably
a
are.
very like welcome to the Okanagan podcast that we're doing today. Very
It is
small
a
town
little bit.
vibes. I love it.
It was a little bit.
It's like summer memories. I feel
Yeah.
like in the summer everybody reminisces about their childhood. And so, that's the thematically on point, I guess, with summer vibes.
I suppose so. I don't know. Like to me, it's like you drive all the way to the Okanagan and then you're just in the Okanagan. What like, so what? You know, like
It's hot and lovely here. I don't
I
know.
guess. I guess I don't know. It's to my recollection, it's hot and boring.
That's
Um,
fair.
I like it in the city. I like going to the mall and the aquarium and
Yeah.
water parks and
There is
yeah,
a water park. I feel like
there
there's
is
at
a
least
water park.
two. I think there's at least two now. So
Yeah, not the same.
that's fair.
I don't know. I think we're gonna. I think like I don't think I know because we booked it today. We're gonna go to Harrison, and I think maybe I might because we're gonna be up there for a few days. Up there, it's an hour and a half away. It's basically a day
But
trip,
still,
and we're just
still.
not coming home.
Yeah.
But we'll be at Harrison for a few days, and when you're at Harrison, Cultus is just like right there.
Oh
So maybe we'll go over the
yeah.
water slides at Cultus. But the
Nice.
problem right now is that like it's fun in theory, but the girls are too small. right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
like we took Kara to Big Splash, which is out in Tawasin, on the way out to the ferry. This is like so like this is like when people in LA talk about Los Angeles and they're just like, and then I took the 5 and because the PCH was backed up, so whatever, I don't know. I only know like 5 streets in Los Angeles, but that's the joke, right? There's the whole SNL skit of like the Californians where it's like you know which one I'm talking about. I don't think
I
they
don't
do this
watch
one anymore because
SNL.
I don't think like any of those people are with SNL anymore. But they it's always like everybody's blonde, even people who
Oh,
shouldn't be blonde
yeah, fair.
are all blonde, and like the Rock, if the Rock is the guest, then he'll have a horrible blonde wig on, and you're like, that's not his hair, that's not anyone's hair, that's just a wig. um and it's like dramatic, it's like a dramatic soap opera, but then nobody's actually talking about anything, they're all just talking about like, and then I took
Oh,
this street to
right.
get over here because this street, because
Gotcha.
there was construction on this, and because that's apparently how everybody talks in Los Angeles, because you spend most of your life in traffic in LA.
That's fair.
But anyways, that's what we're doing here. We're talking about local landmarks that you guys don't know what we're talking about. But Big Splash, which used to be Splash Down back in the day. When I was a kid, it was Splash Down Water Park. And now it's Big Splash Water Park. We took them last year, and Kara wouldn't, like, she didn't want to do anything
Aw,
because it was scary. So we did
that's fair.
there's like these 3 big slides. They're not like tube slides. These are just like big flat slides
Right.
that you can go down. And it's like there's a small green one, a medium yellow one, and then a big red one. And we went down the small green one, and like, it's a water slide. You get to the bottom of the water slide, you hit the water, right?
Yeah.
And she just like was not having it. She did not like the
Aw.
hitting of the water. uh,
Wow.
uh,
Yeah, maybe water parks aren't her thing, because I got some news for you, girl.
that's the whole
That's the
experience. Yeah.
conceit. That's the conceit.
Yeah, but
Oh man,
I don't
water
know. What
parks,
we're
water
gonna go.
slides.
We'll go back this year and we'll see how she does
Nice.
with Big Splash. But it's, like, Cultus is bigger, but it's more. Cultus is almost like a theme park now. There's like rides and stuff too. So I don't know, um, but
Cool.
yeah,
Nice.
I don't want to drive all the way to the Okanagan.
That's fair. Nobody has to go anywhere. You can enjoy the summer in your own town.
Yeah, but I'm gonna get the guilt trip. Like, I'm
Um,
gonna, from my brother, of like, how come you're not coming to visit? It's like, because I don't want to.
that's fair.
Like,
You know
I
that
don't know
you're
what to
allowed
tell
to
you, man. You
not.
moved to
You
Kelowna.
don't have to.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't want to go to Kelowna. I yeah, like they decided to move because they were down here. Cassie wants to be on the podcast apparently.
Amazing, amazing. I can hear her.
It's
That's so great.
9:56. She should really be asleep. It's like Crystal's trying to keep her quiet, and I appreciate that she's trying to
Aw.
keep her quiet. But I can hear, with my headphones on and the door closed, Crystal shushing very loudly as Cassie just talks in the hallway.
I love it.
And it's
That's
like, you're not,
amazing.
no, this is the opposite effect. um
Awesome.
Anyways, I yeah, like they lived here, and they wanted to buy a house, and they didn't want to, I don't know, I guess they didn't want to save up to buy a house in the in the Lower Mainland, so
Well,
it's
yeah,
cheaper in the
that's
interior.
fair.
So
Yeah, that's fair.
they ran away to the interior and bought a big house.
Yeah, nice. I mean, that's why people come here, is because you can actually
Yeah,
like afford to live. So,
I
but
don't
it's
know
also,
how.
it's also
I mean,
it's not
like,
everybody's jam. It's not
I
everybody's jam.
I the timing was obviously not right, but Crystal and I check every so often to see if in the neighborhood there are houses that are to our liking, that meet our requirements, and our requirements are very simple. We need no less than 4 bedrooms for us, right? Because one for me and Crystal, one for each of the girls, and then at least a home office, right?
Right.
Um, preferably 2 would be nice. And then an in-law suite for the eventuality of that. I and then obviously, as we've discussed many times, a laneway / carriage house / garage
Pour
with
moi.
somewhere like with like an apartment above it, so that we can have a nice full house scenario and you can live in our
Yeah.
backyard.
So great.
um
I'm very looking forward to it.
yeah. And we'll and this was maybe a month ago. There was a house that's probably about 6 blocks away from here that was almost that. It didn't have enough bedrooms. It was almost that.
Oh,
But again, the timing isn't right at the moment.
right.
But um I anticipate that by the time that you come back from your sojourn,
My
uh
sojourn.
yeah,
I
that
hope
that we'll
so,
be able to sort it out.
because I've got to figure out what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Like specifically like where I'm going to be and like where my home base is going to be.
Yeah.
Because what I'm hoping is that I can just continue to do things that are not necessarily in Vancouver
Yeah.
while still having Vancouver as a home base. And I feel like the ideal scenario for that is like being able to come and then stay with you guys where there's a cat and there's kids and familiarity.
Preferably a different cat.
Preferably, yeah. I want
Yeah.
one that likes me, please.
Yeah.
Like devastating. I can't believe that your cat hates me so much.
It's not
Anyways,
that he hates you. He's just an ass.
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
he's just not nice.
Not just me. It's not just
Yeah.
me. Yeah. But anyways, yes, no. So it's good. You guys got some time. Figure it all out.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it'll be grand.
No, we'll get it sorted out,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah.
But that
And then
but
I
but
have
but when you talk about it that way, it's like we're not talking about having a house. We are talking about having like a small commune.
commune. Yeah, basically. Yes.
But
That very
but I
much.
mean, like, but what 90s kid doesn't have that, like that's family oriented, right? Like doesn't have that dream of of having a full house type house where it's
Right?
like
Just makes so
we
much more
can
sense.
like Crystal and I can do whatever we want because we know that there's another adult somewhere.
Yeah.
Right? Especially like in a couple of years when they're a little bit older, when Car's a little bit older.
Yeah.
It's like just make sure they don't burn anything down. And we'll be back in a bit. So
There you go.
that's the hope.
That's fair.
That's the
That's
hope.
fair. I know. It's gonna be grand. Oh, don't worry, Kara or Cassie. It'll happen soon.
Yeah. Cara's asleep.
Yeah, oh, that's good.
Cara's passed out, I'm sure. Otherwise, we'd be hearing her. She'd probably be banging on the door. Can I come in there? This Friday is the Fast and the Furious.
Oh yeah,
Fast 9.
and in
Finally.
a real live theater.
Yeah.
Which is
397
exciting.
days after
It was supposed
to come out. And I've got my ticket. I'm gonna sit in a VIP seat.
Ooh.
And no one will be sitting directly behind me or in front of me or to the sides. I was the first one to buy tickets in this specific seating.
Nice.
So I got to pick mine, and I was a real jerk about it and picked like dead center. So there's like a whole circle around me of like,
nice.
You can't sit here.
Yes. I love it. That's great. Oh, I didn't realize that you get to choose because for us, because I went to see Cruella, which was fun. But yeah, the theater, like they had blocks that you could choose in pairs. So, but I get it.
No, it's like the you pick your seats like you normally would, and like once other people have picked their seats, then it becomes much more limited, right? Because it's like,
right, yeah.
Because I pick, especially because like VIP is like the 2-seat banks, right? Like those little the little like love seat type things. So like I picked one seat there, and so I get both seats, right? And then it's like the 2-seat, like the 2-seater next to me on the left and the 2-seater on the right is empty, and then the ones in front of me are also empty. But it's like a circle because it's not just like directly in front of me. It's not just like a little like plus sign. It's like
right.
the ones in front of me, both on the like the front left and the front right, as well as directly in front, as well as in behind. So it's just like a little like circle zone of safety.
Nice.
I feel really good about it, and I'm not psyched on having to have my mask on the whole time. But it is
I
what it
think you
is.
can,
Like,
while you eat popcorn, you can take your mask off.
can you? Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least so I was in it's cinema here, which as somebody who the only like rewards card that I own is a Cineplex rewards card,
Yeah.
and the only theater in Penticton is a Landmark Cinemas, which is devastating. So I can't necessarily use it here, but in the Landmark you could have your mask off while you were eating. And so I
Okay.
just like ate popcorn the whole time. So I just had a lot of popcorn. So
But yeah, I mean, like I've got both of my vaccinations.
yeah,
Look,
jelly.
I'm
Oh, sorry.
playing a little fast and loose because I got it on a Saturday, so technically I won't be fully vaccinated until this Saturday, and I'm going to the movie on Thursday. But I feel like
Just still to stay, there's precautions in place for a reason,
yep,
right? Like
yeah,
just yeah.
yeah,
And
like
it's like I felt safe enough, right?
yeah,
I mean,
um,
all our my whatever post pre-show chat anxiety aside, as we were discussing.
um, but yeah, I'm so excited to be back in the movie theater, and then I think Cara and I might go see Spirit Untamed. I
Oh
think it's Spirit
yeah.
Untamed. Good gravy there, loud tonight.
Oh my goodness. Oh
Um,
no.
oh, Cassie wants to
Wasted.
play.
Oh.
I
With you? Is that what's going
No,
on?
I think just
Does
in
she know
general,
you're
she doesn't want
here?
to go to bed. She just wants to
Oh,
play.
that's fair. That's a good
I,
a girl after
I,
my own heart.
yeah, but yeah, I think Cara and I will probably go on the weekend as well. We'll see.
So you're just a movie it up. That's exciting.
Yeah,
Ooh, so I am trying to plan to be in Vancouver for the weekend, basically leave the weekend of Cassie's birthday because Paw Patrol comes out on the 20th, and I fully
yeah,
expect that you guys will go see that. So what would be really rad is for the last thing for me to do in Vancouver would be to crash your Paw Patrol party and then leave right after, or
yeah,
make her go again with me. So I'm trying to see because it just works out really well. So I don't know. I'm excited. Movies is like I'm now like starting to plan my life around like what movies are out at what point in time because I really want to watch them all. So it's gonna be
yeah. Well,
grand.
here's the thing: Cara does not even know that there's a Paw Patrol movie coming out. Like we haven't watched the trailer or anything. She
Ooh,
doesn't even know yet.
she's gonna be so excited.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It looks
She's really
rad.
excited.
Hey, I don't know.
I just watched the trailer today, and it does actually look very, very
Yeah,
good.
it looks entertaining. I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm very excited.
I don't know how I feel about this plot because it's like they're not in Adventure Bay. I guess they're going to
Yeah,
Adventure City, and it's gonna be
yeah.
all about how like it's like life in the big city, and I'm like I don't really need that, but I don't
Makes it
know.
different and interesting. Otherwise,
Yeah,
it's just the same, same.
I don't like this this dachshund with a New Yorker accent that's gonna be like that this dachshund's gonna be the new Paw Patrol member, right? But like the thing that
Oh,
always makes me really angry about the new Paw Patrol members when they do this is that like they don't stick, right? It's always the six of them, uh,
right.
and then and then they throw in an extra one to sell a new toy, but they never stick around. So like the first one was Everest, and then they added in Tracker, and
I love that you're
then
talking about these things as if I know. I can like, yeah, that time they added Everest and then removed him from. I don't know enough of Paw Patrol.
Everest is a girl. Thank you very much.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Uh,
Actually, oh no, I
she's a
do. I've
husky.
watched enough. I've watched enough Paw
Yeah,
Patrol.
you
I know who
absolutely have.
Everest is. I definitely know
Um,
who Everest is.
yeah, and like most recently they did like the dinosaur stuff where they found like they for some
There's a
reason there's just
dinosaur Paw Patrol.
yeah, there's just this jungle where there's still dinosaurs for some reason.
Epic.
And they
Oh,
go
so
there and
great.
they meet a little pup named Rex, uh, he's got like one of those little dog wheelchairs, like the
Amazing.
hind leg
Yeah.
wheelchair things.
Yeah.
Um, I yeah,
That sounds fun. I mean, I also though like it's sort of what happens when the shows are made by toy companies, and so it's really
Yes,
You
because
just
Paw
you
Patrol is
create the
made by
toy.
Spin Masters, right?
You
Like,
just yeah, you
yeah,
just create the
for sure.
you create the show so that you can sell the toys. So
But it's
I
just like
am
in
behind
in
it.
because I always liken Paw Patrol to Power Rangers, right? Paw Patrol is Power Rangers for toddlers
Yeah.
because it follows the same format of like oh, they're all hanging out having a good time. Oh no, there's a problem that needs to be solved. Okay, let's go try and solve it, and then they solve it, and then by the end of the episode, everything goes back to the way that it was before, and we pretend like it never happened, uh, and there's no continuity or anything throughout it. But like with Power Rangers, with Super Sentai, they always you add a new ranger partway through, right? And then that character sticks around. Like now that character is a part of the team. So like the Green Ranger shows up, they fight him obviously, but then he becomes part of the Ranger team,
Right.
and he's just there in every episode after that, right? Um, and then like obviously Power Rangers iterates, and it's a different version of the show every season, but or every couple seasons now, but it works differently in Japanese TV than it does in American TV, but whatever. I like that's the pattern, right? But then with Paw Patrol, it's always just like, oh, this character shows up and then they leave. I don't know. I want an episode where like everybody is there. All of the Paw Patrol characters are there. Every single
As
one of them.
as someone who makes animation, that makes me upset.
Yeah, because it's a lot. It's a
It's
lot more work.
so much, so much work.
To me though, like that's what the movie is. Like that's when you do the
Right.
movie, is that you do like it's like, oh,
Everybody.
like what like I don't know, you have to come up with something that's big enough that you need every single member of the Paw Patrol from all
Infinity
over the world.
War.
Right? But yeah, that's what you want. You want the Paw Patrol Infinity War moment. So
Basically,
I don't
yeah.
know, maybe the next
Maybe
one.
they'll lead there. Maybe I was gonna say, maybe that's where they're going.
Yeah.
They're just adding a few more dogs along the way. Pups, I guess, if you wanna not
It
call
is
them dogs.
amazing to me that nobody has bought Paw Patrol yet. That it is still, I think it might be Nickelodeon that produces it, but it's owned by Spin Masters. But it's really surprised. So Nickelodeon is Paramount. But it's really surprising to me that like Warner or Disney have not bought Paw Patrol.
I mean, they might be like just holding on to it because it's like a really lucrative brand for them.
I just don't, yeah, they don't need to sell it, right?
Yeah.
um but it would be cool if you could have a Paw Patrol where all of a sudden like the Avengers did show up, you know.
That would be pretty sweet, actually.
I know like Kara would love that. She would go if Iron Man showed up in an episode of Paw Patrol, like to hang out with the Paw Patrol, or
How do you even
Spider-Man,
deal? How would you
or
even deal with it? Oh my gosh.
yeah, like she'd lose her mind. She'd lose her tiny little mind. But anyways, it's not in the cards. But Dax
Yeah.
Shepard is in the movie, so
Ooh,
so we'll
that's
see who
exciting.
he plays. But
Nice.
uh, I think that's it. I think we did it.
Yeah, there wasn't a ton.
That's
Stuff
an
is coming
episode.
out. I feel like it's like we're on the edge of
Oh,
greatness for this summer.
listen, the next episode is Fast 9,
Well, yeah. I
right?
mean, that
Like,
means I have to watch Fast 9 this weekend.
yeah, yeah. Well, you're gonna see Fast 9. You have 2 weeks to see it,
That's true.
right?
That's true.
So,
That's true.
yeah, they've got their 2 weeks, and we'll talk about, and we won't just talk about
It'll be
Fast 9.
after
We'll
the
talk
long
about
weekend
the whole thing.
too. Like we've got a nice break in there, so I can go over the long
There
weekend.
you go.
Be nice.
Cool.
Very exciting.
That's it. That's it for this low energy,
Meander
lazy summer.
through the lazy summer vibes.
Yeah. Just
podcast.
like if you can go back in time to the beginning of this episode before you listen to all of this and listen to it again, just like blow up your inner tube and go find a slow moving body of water and take your electronics with you. It's always a good idea.
Yes.
And hop in the water and listen to this podcast.
I love it. That's a good suggestion. I like it.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that's it. Thanks for listening. I'll be back next week with Off the Record. That's what next week is. And then we'll be back in 2 weeks, and we're going to talk about Fast 9 and the rest of the Fast and the Furious franchise and a potential crossover with Jurassic World. I saw that.
Rumor.
That's the
that
rumor.
Oh, How epic.
Which actually will tie in because I think I am going to talk about Cadillacs and dinosaurs on the next
Nice.
episode, on the off the record, but
Nice.
because I've been watching through that. So stuff to look forward to. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode.
Stay safe, everybody. Wash your hands and be kind to one another.
Follow the Thunderquack Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook by searching the Thunderquack Podcast. You can support us in 3 ways. First, by heading to the podcast service of your choice and leaving a rating and review. Second, by going to store.thunderquack.com to pick up some merch from your favorite podcasts. And last but not least, by heading to patreon.com/thunderquack to kick in with your monthly pledge of support and get cool rewards like early access and extended episodes. The Thunderquack Podcast is the official podcast of thunderquack.com. Head to thunderquack.com to discover more great podcasts.